of the Russian Defense Ministry has dragged the country to the brink of civil war. The claims of the new mobilization announcement, which led to a great public reaction, were confirmed by the step taken by Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belousov. Hundreds of thousands of Russian citizens, who were confronted with notifications about the mobilization order at the doors of their homes in the morning, went crazy with anger. The Kremlin administration, surprised at what to do in the face of simultaneous anti-war protests that have started across the country, has confused everything even more with the extensive security measures it has taken in Moscow. Russian leader Vladimir Putin is preparing to fire Andrei Belousov for his mistake, which led to a deep shake of his throne. The Russia-Ukraine war, which has been going on for more than 2 years, now feels distinctly that it is nearing its end. However, as the war approaches its end, Russian domestic politics is drifting step by step into the middle of a major crisis. As you may recall, Russian President Vladimir Putin made great promises to both the Russian people and the Russian armed forces during his statement dated February 24, 2022, when he announced the unjust decision to invade the territory of Ukraine. Claiming that the Russian armed forces have the power to completely take over the territory of Ukraine in just a few months without even casualties, the Russian leader guaranteed that during this process, the impact of the war will not be felt in any way within the borders of Russia. However, the self-defense struggle of the Ukrainian army, which received the full support of the Western Bloc countries led by the United States, led Putin to renounce his promises one by one throughout the process. Contrary to what was promised during the war, which has been going on for almost 3 years, the Russian armed forces have lost more than 500,000 soldiers. It was expected that this huge amount of manpower casualties would eventually make the Kremlin back down and the invasion attempt would be terminated. However, Putin, who in no way gave up his insistence on the continuity of this war, he started for his personal interests, aimed to keep the manpower in the army at a constant level by resorting to an outdated war strategy. As a result of Putin's mobilization decisions during this process, hundreds of thousands of male Russian citizens were forced to join the army. With the deployment of these new recruits to the active battlefield, without even the necessary military training, the Russian people began to completely lose confidence in Putin and organize protests against the current government. Vladimir Putin, who holds the Russian Defense Ministry responsible for the announcement and implementation of mobilization decisions in order to get out of the focus of criticism, turned his back on the closest figures one by one to secure his own throne. The mobilization processes that led